The day my husband, Ethan Hart, posted wedding photos in a bridal gown with the college girl he was sponsoring on his social media, I didn't fly into hysterics like I usually did. Instead, I gave them a like. I even left a comment. Such a perfect match. Let's all wish the newlyweds a lifetime of happiness. People in our circle said I was the most pathetic wife alive, letting the mistress walk all over me without resistance. A week later, he came home and explained, "It was just an act. Her grandfather is sick. Before he dies, he wants to see her get married." I nodded calmly. I didn't take it seriously. I believe you. In my previous life, I had stormed into their wedding ceremony that very day and caused a scene, ruining their wedding. To punish me, Ethan went after my parents' company. He drove them into bankruptcy and forced them to jump to their deaths, and I was sent to a mental hospital by that woman, tortured, until I truly went insane. So in this life, reborn with everything laid bare, I no longer crave his love. All I want is his money. Every time he cheats, I transfer a portion of the assets under his name. 3 chances remain. After that, he will have nothing left. I believe you. I looked at Ethan Hart, my tone steady and calm. He studied my face carefully. When he saw no sign of anger, the deep crease between his brows finally eased. Smiling, he pulled me into his arms. "Celia, I'm glad you understand. Sophie is just playful by nature, and with her grandfather gravely ill, I really had no choice." I leaned obediently against his chest, but inside, I sneered. In my previous life, it was precisely because I couldn't accept his so-called no choice that I rushed out and made a scene. To vent his anger on Sophie's behalf, he ruthlessly crushed my parents' company, forcing them into bankruptcy and driving them to jump to their deaths. I was dragged into a psychiatric hospital by him, forced to take medication, subjected to electric shocks, and beaten by the orderlies. Sophie Collins would occasionally come to see me, nestling in Ethan's arms and mocking me for being like a dog. In the end, I died on a bitterly cold winter night. That was why, from the very first day I was reborn, I began secretly planning to transfer the assets under his name. This time, I no longer believed in a man's love. I believed only in the money I could hold in my own hands. Ethan kept talking to himself. "By the way, today is our 3rd wedding anniversary. I'll make it up to you properly, I promise. No one will disturb us tonight." He raised 3 fingers solemnly, swearing an oath. I nodded and replied sweetly, "All right, whatever you say." Seeing how agreeable I was, Ethan's mood lifted immediately. Over the next few hours, he busied himself with preparations. From the balcony, I heard him on the phone, his voice deliberately lowered. "The best table in the restaurant. Yes, the one with a full view of the city lights. Is the fireworks display ready? It has to be grand. It's a surprise for her." Watching his bustling figure, I felt momentarily dazed. For an instant, I almost thought the Ethan who had loved me 3 years ago had come back. I looked away and took out my laptop, opening the Black Operations interface. "Because of that Instagram post, Ethan, you've already used up 1 chance." Within minutes, notification after notification popped up. The ownership of the luxury villas and cars under his name was transferred entirely to the overseas offshore trust I had set up in advance. Altogether, those assets were worth more than $30 million. I lifted the cup of coffee on the table, already stone cold, and took a sip. The bitterness spread across my tongue, yet it made me feel more clear-headed